He's 11 years old in grade 5, and he just got his report card today, and I'm proud to say he got straight A's. So, you know, I'm here today partly on behalf of my members, many of whom work in the post-secondary education system. I'm also here on behalf of all our members in the broader economy who are products of the post-secondary education system and owe a lot of their success in their careers and their stability in the economy to the education that they got at places like the University of Alberta. But I'm here especially for people like my son Jack, who in a few years is going to be entering our universities and colleges, and I want to make sure that we continue to have the kind of proud institutions that have built this province so that my son can benefit in the same way that you're benefiting and that previous generations have benefited from high quality education. It was almost exactly 22 years ago when I was standing in your place as one of the people who organized a march on the legislature across that bridge at the beginning of what became the C.A.P.S.E. And there were a lot of things that were different about that day. It was actually a heck of a lot colder, believe it or not. And it was also different because the advanced education minister of the day, a guy named John Gogo, actually came out of the steps and had the guts to talk to the students instead of lounging on a beach in Vietnam. Very much the same as the situation back then, because surprise, surprise, we have a conservative government today, we have a conservative government then, and they still don't realize that there are two sides to every budget. So when confronted by a deficit, these conservatives, whether it's time conservatives or Redford conservatives, they don't realize the budget has two sides, and they always look to cut. And I can tell you, as someone who was on the other side 22 years ago, we've seen this movie before, and it was a horror story then, it will be a horror story today. And so we've learned that cuts hurt, and that they have consequences that echo over decades. And so you should be concerned about the provincial budget that was handed down last week. You should be concerned about the impact it's going to have on your quality of education. But you shouldn't just be concerned. You should be indignant. And you should be angry. When they were introducing the budget last week, they called this a responsible budget. They called it a budget without change. But this is not a responsible budget. This is an unnecessary budget. Because Alberta, by almost any measure, Alberta is not only the richest jurisdiction in Canada, it is one of the richest jurisdictions in the world. And if there is a place in this country that can afford high quality education, high quality public services, it's Alberta. But 22 years ago, we complained. 22 years ago, we commiserated. But 22 years ago, we continued to vote for Conservatives. Have we learned a lesson? Okay, so right now, what we need to do is not just rally, not just talk, not just complain. We need to demand better. We need to demand better from this government, and we need to remind this government and the people of this province that not only can we afford advanced education, and we can't afford to be without it. And today on behalf of the labor movement, our 29 unions in the public and private sector, representing more than 160,000 unionized Albertans, we're going to fight for our jobs, we're going to fight for our wages, but we're also going to fight for you